Hey, we're live. We're back on Thursdays. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Welcome to another Carvers and Creators, a weekly demonstration and discussion with pumpkin carvers, sculptors, and multi-talented artists from around the world. First, we ask that you give us a like and a follow on the platform you're watching us on. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and if you have any questions for the carvers or our special guest. Let's meet the carvers. Let's do it. Add that. Yeah, let's do it. First, he's an artist and sculptor from Boston, Massachusetts. He's a 2019 champion of Food Network's Outrageous Pumpkins. Joining us from a secret locale somewhere out there in the wilderness, it's Paul Dever. Welcome.
Polly.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
There
From
it
Vacation Land.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. We may have a little bit of a delay, but that's okay. And by the way, the virtual background is awesome.
My favorite background.
Yes, it's good. It's good. Next, he's a multimedia sculpture artist from Tucson, Arizona, and a finalist on Halloween Wars 2019 on the Food Network, Matt Harper.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Glad to be here. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Our guest tonight creates one-of-a-kind sculptures of movie, TV, and pop culture icons out of Northern California. Please welcome the very talented Nicole Pecson. Yeah.
Yay. No. So glad.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
Yes, and I can't wait to get into your work. It's a cornucopia of goodness, so I cannot wait. Mm-hmm. My name is Michael Mondragon. I'll be running the show, moderating comments, and chiming in from time to time. Let's check out our sculpts from last week. The carving subject was Enraged Clown. And Matt, this is awesome. Tell us more about it.
Thank you. I had this chody looking, really bulbous butternut squash, and it was like perfect for like a big top and a big bottom, like because most of them kind of look like this, like a pear. So that one had a lot of chunk, and I fought with myself forever to like what kind of hat would he be wearing. I was gonna make him like bald with little puffs of hair, but you know those like really creepy Euro looking, with the little skull cap Italian clowns or whatever.
Little French ones, yeah.
French ones. That's kind of what I channeled with this guy, and then gave him some fangs and a forked tongue to make him extra angry. But yeah, it was fun.
Oh yeah, super cool.
Awesome.
Super cool.
And the little neck ruffles, that's the quintessential clown thing anyway, right?
Yeah, you always do so well on those ruffles. Super cool.
Killer.
So, Paul, yours looks a little bit similar to a couple weeks ago, maybe because I didn't I didn't switch it out. But did you bring your Enraged Clown to your camping spot there?
Boy, the shame you're giving us.
I have intentions of finishing it. I got caught. We were leaving for vacation. I got whistle bit, as they say. So I have it with me with intentions to finish. I did not get around to finishing it yet, but I will. I will finish it. I swear.
There we go. That's all we need. We are good.
Promise.
Yeah. I still love this one, by the way.
For now, just put a round nose on that one. Just a little round nose, maybe a little.
It's a clown. I love it. Beautiful.
All good. All good. We trust you. We know where you live.
Yeah.
Well, I work in pixels and vectors. Here is my offering for this week. I just went. I said all I do is make album covers now for my all these things. And it's funny because I think we've done clowns before, so sure. I was just trying to figure out how I could just do something different. But I was thinking to myself, this is kind of like this would be me if actually they put makeup on me like a clown as a kid. I would hate it. Yeah. I've always hated stuff on my face and like paint or food or anything. I'm just like,
and this is coming from the disco machine, Paul. Mickey, this guy he was a professional wrestler and wore a lucha libre style thing. So I don't know what you're talking about. You must not.
The mask that you could take off, not face paint.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
It was like the Road Warriors.
No more.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
So yeah, I'm just locked into doing these album covers, and
I love them.
you know what, Paul, you know what I have to do? I have to share them. I have not shared a whole bunch of them. I have like
Come on,
of them
dude.
sitting on. Yeah.
You have a ton of them.
Yeah, I haven't shared them.
I'm gonna get them up on the site.
Paul,
Yeah.
I think that is worth a full $9.99 too. I mean, that's
What a
I love
bargain.
the stickers and, like,
Maybe that's why he's enraged. Like he doesn't want his album to go on sale.
It is what it is. That's why it's all fun and creating. But Nicole, I'd like to introduce you to the fourth member of Carvers and Creators, responsible for choosing our carving subject tonight. It is the hollow wheel, the center spinner, and as always, Paul will tell you more about it right now.
Oh,
Hello, kids.
there he is.
Look, I brought the wheel on vacation. All right, so Nicole, what we're going to do is we're going to spin this wheel twice. This will determine what we're going to carve this evening. So the first spin is the inner ring here of characters. We have wolf, demon, alien, ghost, guest choice, witch, zombie, clown, vampire, and Frankenstein. A second spin will be the emotion, which will be enraged, disturbed, hungry, nervous, crying, disgusted, smug, terrified, embarrassed, or guest choice. So a couple of those are going to require some help from you if it lands on it. But without further ado, let's spin the wheel.
All right.
Clown, respin.
Yeah, we got to respin.
Yeah.
We can't do 2 in a row. That's just not right.
Alien. Didn't we just do Alien?
Ooh.
I think
We
we
did
did.
one before the
Yeah.
clown.
All right, we got to do another
Should we
respin.
do
Third time's the charm.
the
time's
unheralded
the
respin. I like that. Thank
Yeah.
you, Nikki.
Season 3, 3 spins.
Oh, I like that. Come on, something different.
Ghost.
Host.
Go.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Go.
Ruh-roh.
Okay.
Okay.
Ruh-roh. Okay. Now what are we doing today?
Now, what's the emotion going to be?
It's a nervous ghost, everybody.
Nervous ghost.
Interesting. Okay.
Good Lord. Okay.
Okay.
I don't, what?
Trying to visualize it.
I can't.
You can just,
All right.
we'll do a person, they're dead, they're a ghost.
Yeah, now they're nervous. You know, or,
Yeah.
Good Lord, a nervous ghost. Okay.
There
They
you go.
just became a ghost.
This is the part, Nikki, where we start, like, you know, if you ever want to watch anxiety in action, this is kind of where you can spin
We're
the
all
wheel
stopped
and you're
up here.
live and all that stuff, and you have to come up with a nervous ghost made out of a squash. And
Yeah. It's like exposure
No
therapy.
bueno.
yeah.
Yes.
I get you.
So if you're carving or creating with us, we're going to give you 5 minutes to get your tools together, whatever you're going to create with. While we do that, we're going to see what our carving oil is for tonight. So I'm going to start with you, Nikki. What do you have? I think that you have something good. I can't wait to hear where it's from.
Always. I have it's an Imperial Coffee Porter. It is the Drake's Jolly Roger 2015.
Nice.
Oh, they're
This is
vintage.
good.
Guy right here.
There you go.
Lord, look at that.
They are local. They're from San Leandro,
Yes.
Bay Area.
Yes. I think I had Drake's when I went to go see the Oakland A's. They have a Drake's
Yeah.
stand there.
Yeah. They got a tap room in Oakland. They're so
Okay.
Yeah. So good.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Nice.
Very fancy.
Wow.
Matt, what do you got?
Okay, I went slight askew. I'm going with a Finnish long drink. Have you guys had
Okay.
these?
No.
Okay, so it's gin with natural grapefruit, fruit, and juniper berry flavors, and it's carbonated. So I mean, it's not too far off of like one of those seltzer
White
thingies.
Claws? Is it a White
Yes.
Claw with a different can?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a gin White Claw apparently. So
Okay.
let's see what I guess they're kind of sweet, but I'm gonna find out.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet. Paul, what do you got?
It ain't no
Well,
beer.
Do you have any left?
Well, as you know, on vacation, not all of it can be top notch, but I have found that I do really like this beer. When we went to Nashville, I started enjoying these, and I'm going to go old school.
Ooh,
There you go. PBR.
The old PBR.
that reminds me
Okay.
of Blue Velvet.
So I just to reiterate, I didn't finish the carving, but I did finish about 1,400 of these over the week.
That's all you need.
Yes. The aluminum can statue. We'll be showing that a little bit later.
Yes,
right?
it's about 9 feet tall.
Create art wherever you are.
That's it.
Well, I was in Orange County a couple days ago, and there's a new brewery called Everywhere, and it's this is the
cool.
Gladness West Coast IPA. Nicole was saying before how we were super spoiled with beer here in Southern California, and this is another case of is unbelievably tasty. So yeah, it's
Right
definitely a great one. I will never pass up a West Coast IPA. So cheers to our creations. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Let us know what your carving oil is in the chat. We definitely want to know. Cheers. Clinky clinky.
Cheers, guys.
Nice.
Much better.
Yes.
All right.
Well, Nicole, we definitely want to start with how you got started. I think from what you said before, you're self-taught, but it sure does not appear that your talent level is it's self-taught. And you said you haven't been doing this very long, like 5 years or so?
Yes, about 2016, so almost 6 years. But yeah, I mean, self-taught, but like YouTube, like online stuff. So, you know, but no like art school or art classes. So yeah, I kind of came into it like in a backwards kind of way. I was considering changing jobs after school and jobs. And I thought about doing like an art therapy program. And one of the requirements for your portfolio is to have like 3 different mediums of art. And ironically, the only thing I didn't have was I wasn't interested in sculpture. I'd never sculpted. So I was like, I'll just buy some super sculpey, throw something together. It doesn't have to be good, just to like complete the, you know, submission requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I made this little like elf kind of guy. Oh, I should have brought that picture. It's terrible, but I loved him. And I was like, done. You know, once you have like a little character in your hand and he's a real guy, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this forever. I'm addicted. So, and then just never stopped.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and now, just you still have that little guy somewhere?
My mom has it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1. Okay.
It is number 1.
So these are all one of a kind. So you don't do anything duplicated.
No duplicated. No, I have never casted or molded before. I just didn't have like the equipment or like the area to do it in. So I haven't tried it yet. And I went back and forth and I've kind of landed on, I like having just one of a kind, just sort of, each one is special. No, you know, nobody else has it. And, you know, it's a challenge because once they're gone, they're gone. If they break, they break. And business wise, maybe it might be, you know, nice to have some copies on hand. But yeah, that's where I am. It's very old school. Like, here he is.
Well, you know, Nicole, like what we learned at Monsterpalooza, Paul can help with this, but we're you know, with the medium we have is so damn time sensitive, and it's, you know, so it just goes away no matter what. But there was a really cool scanning feature we saw somebody have, like where you 3D scan it into the minute detail, and then you can get it printed. So I imagine that might be like a really fast way to you know, make multiple copies. But one cool thing we were talking last week is I mean, it makes sense, right? You can take that scan, and then instead of having it be a 3D printed thing of your statue or your sculpture, you can make that scan the void. So in other words, then you can just make that be
the negative.
The negative, right? So then you can cast that as many times as you want instead of having to go, you know, make another one or to make another one.
I never thought about it that way. I know
animation apparently does that all the time now, and like makes just negatives of his sculpture and then makes them into really cool, you know, forms. Then you can just make as many duplicates as well.
That would be so cool. You know what? I have to look into that actually. Even if it's just for fun, just to know how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool.
So do you do the painting on these?
Oh yeah. I have those guys. I've got an airbrush, but I use it usually for like the base coat, like the black and white pieces. I'll prime them all in gray or white, and that's usually with an airbrush. But after that, I usually just hand paint with good old like brush and acrylic paint.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, when I first saw your stuff, I instantly assumed that this was all ZBrush.
Same here.
It's unbelievably clean.
Thanks.
Even the paint, like you have highlights in the dude's hair.
That might be OCD. It might be. Yes, I certainly have highlights in the hair. Yeah, that is. I don't know how that came about. That's just. It ended up being like just the aesthetic of that I'm drawn to. I think like influence wise, obviously horror and like classic movie sculpture, but you know, I'm like a big Disney person. I was growing up, and those like Kent Melton maquettes, and just everything is so clean and you know, smooth. I just like that's what my hands just want to make. So it is kind of a weird mix sometimes, but I just like it. It's very zen, you know, just smoothing it out until it's done.
It is like art therapy. That's like Matt and I will get into when we're just scraping, just the sound it makes alone will do it. So I can imagine trying
100%.
to get that perfect surface must take forever too. Do you use like an alcohol based product to smooth it out?
Yes, alcohol. I usually start with like putting the clay on with like tools in your hand, and then I'll use like little rakes that I have. They're like these guys. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of these.
Yeah.
These
wow. Shout out to Ken's Tools.
Yeah, we love those.
They are the best.
Yeah.
The best. I don't know what I would do without them. So I'll go to like heavy, medium, fine, and then I'll do the brushes. So I'll use like right here, like these types of brushes, like kind of coarse on top.
Rubber. Okay.
Yeah. They're just like cheap-ish, you know, Michael's brushes, and then I'll just do like 70% or 90% alcohol and brush over the surface. And then to take the brush marks away, the final step is usually like a little silicone tool. So like something like this, you know, and just
yes, those work great.
Yeah, and then like fingertips still work, and yeah, and then after they're baked, I will sometimes still go in with like a fine grit sandpaper if it's like a big surface. Okay. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I love the detail, because I mean Mickey's going to show a ton, but I love the detail you're able to pull out of something. Now talk about the scale, because have you ever done, you know, I know I kind of get the sense these are, you know,
yeah.
Like that. You ever do anything really big or even smaller, or
you got it. I've got this little in progress piece that this is the back of him. So he's like this big, you know.
Okay.
So they'll, I don't know, I guess 5th scale, not quite 6th scale, but yeah, they're getting a little bit smaller too as the years go by.
But look at the faces. I mean, the expression. I mean, that's totally Gene Wilder, and that's Charlie, and it's like but you made them your style. I just love they're youthful looking. I mean, anyway, everything about it's great.
Oh,
yeah, it's very stylized. That's the thing that made me think it was ZBrush. It's so perfect.
I think it's that animation like influence in your head, like you know, like realistic portraiture. It's his own like very difficult craft, and I just feel you know, I've kind of looked up on that. I'll leave it to, you know, have my own little lane, own little stylized lane that I'll stay in.
Yeah.
And just do like own version of stuff, and then it just keeps it so fun.
Do you have caricature artists that we've been lucky enough to have some ones on our show? But do you have like your idols in that world, or is there a few names you can drop?
Yeah. Oh my God, I wish I had made a list. Tom Richmond. I think he did Mad. So he's amazing. Oh, yeah. I think he even has like a caricature book, and just perfection. And honest, like even like old school, like Hirschfield, like as a study and like how simple can you get those lines while still retaining some likeness and still like, the challenge of just the simplicity of form versus like, hiding behind like a lot of detail is kind of its own thing. And they're super inspiring. And there are definitely a bunch that I'm sure I'll think of. And leave a bunch.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I know that we've, there's been a couple folks that like, we always ask questions, like Jason Styler came and did, he did our caricature, like for our little goofy faces. And one of the things that we just keep staring at, I'm like, how is that completely not me and totally me? Like in the same breath, like it's, you find those nuanced pieces of their face that are, I'm going to make that long because that just fits the thought process that has to go into it. I'm sure it's a big part of your
sculpture. 100%. Yeah. That's the fun part that I found is really challenging is like, what about the face makes you like, what do you think of when you think of this person? Like, is it their nose or their eyes? Or even beyond the features, maybe it's like an expression that really shows who they are. So, and it's so subjective, but I love pulling like caricatures of people, some of which like maybe more successful than others, and like just staring at them and like trying to figure out like what makes this a successful caricature and that one not as much, because they just saw what that essence was in that person. And just, focused on that. And the rest is just like, fun, but you got to have that one little piece that's that guy or that character.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And is that training? Like, I mean, is that just like your artistic eye, or do you like kind of go through a library of their photos and then finally find that piece, or is it like, I'm just trying to think of your process when you decide I'm going to do Charlie Bucket. Like, what are you? You're looking at all kinds of photos of them and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I pull so much reference, and because people look different in different lighting and different hair changes, like everything, and and just see what's the through line. Like it's like those big eyes, or like those like really droopy eyelids, or a super super unique nose that always stands out, or maybe it's just like a certain joy or like essence that they bring to each of their characters. And just like, that's the thing. And I'll usually like make like handwritten notes that are reminding myself, like, remember they're this way. And
Oh, wow. You are OCD. Never mind.
So OCD. Highlighters, bullet points. Yeah.
But I wanted to go back to this one as well. Even the bases have stories.
Yes.
So like the
bowling
rug,
alley,
and then the bowling alley. We were looking at this one too. I mean, when he walks out and greets everybody, and the cane gets stuck in the cobblestone.
Yeah.
Gobstopper. So like, I mean, there's a lot of like, not Easter eggs, but if you didn't know the story, or just you would, it's even more for someone who does know the character.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. When I make them, I always think like, if like the person who loves this movie or whatever, like will totally get it. And if you don't know, it's fine. But yeah, it's like, what would I like, the thing that you remember about that character or that film that helps. And the bases, I like kind of incorporating the bases into the pieces. They're becoming like part of the whole thing versus just like slapping them down on something. It's just adds an extra little element. And it's just fun.
Are those? Go ahead, man. I got a million questions. You're next, please.
No, I was gonna say I'm a big Blues Brothers fan, so like I know that
Belushi's eyebrow is dynamite.
I mean,
gotta have them.
Yeah, and I remember this scene, and then this is actually the floor that was at that venue when they exactly when this happened. So it's like everything is very true to the movie. But do you get people that like we talk about like criticisms from people. Do you ever get criticism from people if it's not as exact or anything? But yours are super exact.
I mean, it's an interesting thing, like specifically with like commissions and stuff, because I don't like I was saying before about making just characters in my own style and kind of like doing my own thing. I like to err on the side of like whimsy and just like an interpretation, like a little nod to it. Like, so I usually am not going for like, again, like that realistic portraiture, like an exact replica, even though sometimes I end up making them because, like a little replica of like a chocolate bar is fun or whatever. But I mean, it makes it a difficulty if you have a commission where, you know, they're very specific or they have a very specific idea in their head. So that can be a little bit a different type of challenge, I'll say. Because if I'm just making something on my own, like I love this guy, I always wanted to make it. I'm just going to make I'll make this scene and I can pivot if I change my mind in the middle of it or add something. Whereas, you know, if it's specifically for a commission, I have to filter through, well, they want that. They may not agree with that. So I think it's a little, it's more limiting for sure in terms of like the creativity. So I find it a bit more like stiff usually as an outcome, but you know, they have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it pushes you too. When somebody gives you such a specific thing, that's where the anxiety comes in, right? And then when you knock it out of the park, it's like, okay, check, I can do that.
Yes, exactly. I think with sculpture too, it's difficult because, you know, if there is a change or an edit or something that needs to be made on either side, it's, you know, it's you just cutting it off and read, you know, it's kind of hard to, it's a lot. It's already like, there's already the 10 hours in that feature. And then, you know, change in expression is not like a line that you're drawing. It's like, okay, we're going to scrap that and do another 4 hours. So,
right.
Yeah, that's tough, but helps you
these
grow.
So amazing.
I mean,
that's, you know, I just need to see a dead owl and I'll be like, this is exactly the scene. I mean, it's
Petey.
So great.
Petey.
Poor Petey. Yeah, that's my childhood wrapped up into one piece.
Now, where do these? I know you do commissions, and I know, but you also do some gallery work and like get them set up. So where would this like be residing right now, and maybe the past ones too we saw? Yeah,
this one. Well, this particular one was for the Gallery 88 show, 1988. That was for last year's show. And so that piece was bought by a lovely client, and I'm making more stuff for him actually.
Oh, nice.
And I do miss these guys. They were making me laugh in the studio. But yeah, they 88 they've got a bunch of shows coming up, and you know, they're always themed. So it's really nice. They have like the parameter like within this theme. So it gives you like, you know, your limitations and your sort of guidance, and you can just go crazy from there. And then,
well, I didn't even know that. So just on that note, so what's a past theme, or like how do you give me an example?
So like one of their big shows is called like Crazy for Cult, and it's coming up actually next month. So that one will be like things from cult movies, cult classics. And then the solo shows which is what this one was from, is sort of your own theme as long as it's pop culture related. And I just kind of chose to do what I like, which is just comedies. So anything comedy, and yeah.
Perfect.
And then some my other pieces, like the Hitchcock, for example, that would have been at the Hive Gallery. So that was the first place I ever showed a piece. And yeah, they're on Spring Street in downtown LA, and they're so awesome. And they don't have themes or anything. You can bring whatever you want. So I brought like original characters, pop culture characters, more experimental stuff. So yeah, they're very, very cool. Yeah.
What do you like doing more? Experimental, or you're in original, or you kind of go back and forth?
I do like both, just because of by virtue of having the shows and the themes and commissions. I tend to do like a lot of pop culture characters, but I also just like coming up with random characters too. I just haven't had the time to do as many recently, but but there's so many characters. Yeah.
Paul, that's why we like the wheel so much, right? Because we just, it's always random.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's fantastic.
Forces you, right?
Nervous ghost.
Nothing but anxiety.
The wrong direction. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, keeps you on your toes.
Exactly.
Are the Gallery 1988? I mean, it's super cool. I have not been to the Hive. I can't wait to go to the Hive. That's in downtown LA. I actually need to look it up because I wasn't even aware it was in downtown LA.
Yeah.
The Gallery 1988. They have. So are they strictly like we had another couple artists, Jody and Mike Moss, who are like my mentors, and they're awesome. And Mike does pieces for Gallery 1988. What are they? And he was actually in their book. I think they had whenever they put out books of stuff as well.
Yeah.
But are they so for instance, like what you were doing, is it all sculptures, or is it also like paintings? Or is it all just a mishmash of everything?
They've got everything. They've got the coolest stuff, sculptures, but they've got, customized toys, paintings, wood, like anything you can think of. Yeah, they're full. And same with Hive, they've got everything. The Hive show in November is a sculpture only show. It's called the Master Blasters of Sculpture. So that's one where everything you see would be like a sculpture. But other than that, they get all mediums.
Yeah, and I was looking at the Hive, and I actually the show you just talked about. They on their website it has a 2021 show, but you did the painting for it. For the poster, it says that you did the poster of it. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah, with the dolly piece on it.
I can't. No. If you look at the website, it was the poster of it. I think that they said that you did the actual
cover
painting.
art.
Yeah, the cover art. That's
okay. Yeah, it was actually a photograph of one of the sculptures that was in the
Got
show.
it. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was very cool.
Yeah. Show. That's amazing.
That's so
as like I said, just going through. I mean, I'm
wow,
blown away by how great these are.
See that? Now you thought one of her sculptures was a painting.
Yes.
Yeah. I honestly thought it was. It's
a digital painting.
Yes.
Digital,
good.
Yeah. I love your black and white
scale
stuff.
too, and the fact that you're self-taught. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Good old YouTube.
But there are no more excuses officially now that you guys have seen this.
Right.
You have no new,
No, the resources are out there. Get to work.
there are a lot, thank God.
Yep.
I never would have thought to go and sign up for a class or anything like that. I probably would have been like, never mind. So
well, you get to learn. You get to learn visually on your own terms and your own pace.
Yeah, exactly, and no student debt. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, there's that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to ask you, related to this Twilight Zone piece. Was this a commission or was this something? Because this is one that's like the quintessential. I love that episode with the doctor all smoking and
totally my favorite episode by far. I mean, I think a lot of people's favorite, but no, this was just something that I wanted to make. This was I think the third version. Again, the OCD that I'd made of these characters. So it was one of the first things that I made, because they've got kind of crazy faces. And when I was first starting, I was like, I'm going to try and make them. And I think they're great. And then the next year you've improved and you're like, I gotta, that's trash now. So I gotta make a new version. And so, this was just because I was like, let's try it again. And with my new skills and we'll see if I can get better. And that's kind of how I work. I just try and get better with each piece. And
so beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
I miss them too. They were making me happy. And it's
super cool.
New Year's Eve, more black and white.
It's epic. Yeah.
I just really love the black and white medium. I mean, the color scheme, I like the simplicity of it and limitations. And it helps, again, I didn't go to art school, so it helps me learn shadows and highlights and contours. And then I find that if I paint in black, I'm not the best painter. It's not my strong suit. So if I paint black and white for a while, and then I go to paint a colored piece, those transfer over, the understanding of highlights and shadow and concave and how, that all comes from just pressing black and white. So it just worked out well that way, because that was definitely a weak spot for me. I'm working on painting all the time.
Yeah, because when you're doing black and white, they're clearly not just black and white. You're doing all kinds of gradients, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I mix, for grays in particular, I will mix browns and whites and blacks and, choose a warm or a cool kind of tone and just go with that and just see what you get.
Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Paul, you have a question?
I was just going to say, do you ever find when you're at the gallery or whatever and you're talking to a trained artist that they just give you the biggest, dirtiest look when you tell them that you didn't waste a single penny on art school?
I'm sure they would.
Can you guys not hear me?
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. Am I breaking up?
You know, if that ever happens, I'll be so happy that I didn't waste any money at all. But I would love to go though, because when you're working, the further you get along, those gaps, those foundational gaps show themselves. And so, I'll come across something and I'll think, I'm sure, 5 years of anatomy and study and shadow would help me in this moment. You kind of got to rough it and take the hard road, but that's okay. I mean, all different. It's a results oriented medium. So,
No, but I'm saying people go to school for a bazillion years to learn how to do what you learned to do in 5 years. And I know you're on that you're not getting a Christmas card from those people. They're very, very hurt. Artists are still finicky. That's why Matt and I don't consider ourselves artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Stay away from the term, and you never there's disappoint anybody.
That's it. Once they start talking about gradients and form, I'm like,
I don't understand. Yeah, I'll use those terms like how I define them, but I agree. I don't even saying, "Oh, I'm an artist" or "I'm a sculptor" is a little I
wish I could say that.
I sculpt stuff in my time.
There you go.
Yeah.
You gotta stay away from the pretension.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go to school either but I have a over 30-year career, but I just say that, it just took me longer and I had to work harder.
Exactly.
So the money I saved, I just had to do it a different route, and it was the only way I could do it. So I didn't. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. And is there a straight path to doing something like you're doing now? I don't think so.
I mean, exactly. Yeah. And I guess it depends on your goal. Like if you want to work, for a toy company or work in the movie industry or in effects, that's kind of a specific, you have to have certain things in place. But I mean, that's not necessarily what my goal was anyway. I just kind of very intrinsically oriented. So, I motivated. So I want to make something that I'm proud of. And I'm like, oh, this makes me smile. I'm getting better at it. This is fun. And hopefully the next one will be better. And that's kind of it. I mean, having those.
That's it. That's all you should be thinking. That's
all exactly. I'm not saying it's not ambitious, but I mean, in that way, not at all. It just, and I feel like it hurts the creativity when you start thinking that way.
Oh yeah,
so whatever it is,
I said if I went to art school, straight out of high school, I wouldn't have learned anything I'm doing today. So
exactly.
I would have got the basics, and I would definitely would have been stronger. And I think I would have. By the way, I would have loved to go to school had it happened.
Yeah.
But I know I said I just had to work harder.
Exactly.
We actually had a question about is this polymer clay?
It is. Almost all of it is polymer clay. Yeah. So for materials, I usually do. I'll do a wire armature. There's the guy. And then I'll do usually foil to bulk it out, and then I'll do epoxy, so Magic Sculpt or maybe a steel stick, just for strength, and then I'll do polymer clay on top of it. And when everything is done, I bake it. So internally, there's a strong structure, hopefully, and then when it's done, there it is.
Nice.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Nice. We have another question. What commissions are you working on these days?
Oh, Ryan. I am so incredibly close to finishing commission for one Ryan. And so close. Back to the OCD. Yeah. This is my MO with sculpting things would be I sculpt something, could be 40 hours, could be 50, 60. And then I look back and I think something's off. And then I'll just cut the head off with a razor knife, or I'll just trash the whole thing. I have a little graveyard in my studio where I keep misfits, and then I just start all over. And so, it just, I need to get it right. So sometimes it takes longer than I think. I'm terrible at estimating how long things will take. It really depends, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard to put a time limit on something like that. It's done when it's done.
That's what it is. Yeah. And that's why it's kind of tough. And then I do feel bad about when in commissions, for example, where you say, okay, it's going to be hopefully a few weeks. And then a few weeks goes by and it's this is the third version because other two just weren't right. And, but it just probably seems I'm just taking my sweet time. But really there's 4 versions in the trash right there that are similar, but not quite right.
Yeah. we've had this question a couple weeks. Have you, she's asking if it's cosplay, but I think we talked about it in the pre-show, asking if you have used cosplay.
I just got some recently. I haven't used it yet because I wanted to see how it bakes and stuff first. But I'm going to. So no, so far no. But I would like to use them for like the smaller details because of the bendability, the flexibility, shipping, that kind of stuff. So maybe like hands or ears or tails, things like that. Yeah.
Or mustaches like that.
Mustaches, yes. Exactly. That one's actually wire that I painted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This one's wire.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It's hard to break wire.
That one is like this big. It's super small.
Oh, really? Wow.
That one is like, I think it's like 3.5 inches tall or something.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Now you're I think I saw your hands busy. Are you jumping in on the challenge with us?
Oh yeah. Is going to be nervous. Go.
Yeah. No. Again. Not to put you on the spot, but I know that there's you're at least you're. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah. No guarantees on the quality. It'll be something.
Okay.
Nervous eyebrows on
We're
here.
We're just stoked you're jumping in with both feet. We're just very excited to see what a nervous ghost looks like to you.
Yeah, me too. I have never had to think about it, but it's going.
Mickey, don't look at me. I'm not ready yet.
I'm going to keep it on you. I'm going to solo you.
Nice. That's the rest of the show right there.
That's
it is.
Harper.
It is. So again, I mean, these just get every one is it's like a fireworks show. Like it's how amazing these are.
I love
it. Thank you.
This reminds me of Ryan Villiers. Remember that?
Pancake.
Yeah, remember Ryan? He did a full scale.
Yeah.
It was like made of wood. That's
chainsaw carving.
Yeah, that's right. And it was spot on with the same hat and everything, and the same coat.
No way.
It's amazing. Check him out, Ryan Villiers. He's amazing. But the base and everything, like we were talking about before, the thought you put into every part of it, plus the expression on his face, and I mean, you picked the right freeze frame of the movie or whatever you did. The character's amazing.
Oh, he's the best, obviously.
Yeah.
Incomparable. Yeah, I had to think of that's what I try and do for all the characters. Think of what encapsulates this person. Sometimes the characters they don't need anything else, no props or whatever. It's just this is them. But sometimes you want a bunch of stuff, and those pancakes were my brother's idea. So thanks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great idea. They
are magic sculpt, and the syrup is epoxy mixed with a little bit of brown paint.
Oh
epoxy. Wow. Mm-hmm. Epoxy glue.
Oh, okay.
Epoxy glue.
Yeah. 2-part epoxy.
Wow.
Yeah, so really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just don't eat that.
Yeah.
Again, they're only like 6 inches high, you said, or this
one is probably 9.
Okay.
Plus the pancakes and stuff. Yeah, so they're all between 6 and 10 inches. So I feel that's close to 6 scale, right? Something in there.
Yeah. 500 scale. I don't know. I don't know what my scale is.
We were talking about that recently. The scales.
One of the scales.
Scales are tough.
Yes.
Well, 6-foot person would be 12 inches tall. So yeah, just about there.
Just divide it. There we go. Some math. There's some math in here.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like if they're meant for people to buy and have in their home, you only have so much space. So, yeah.
Another shout out to Ken's tools. These things are awesome. Paul, I don't know if you're using yours, but this is my most gone to tool.
The tool's great. Bug spray.
Yeah, it's just, and then there's that end of it. It's just raked and
Ken's tools is the best. They continue to be one of the only places to get super small, tiny little rakes, tiny little ribbon tools. I mean, I've looked for sure.
And they last. I mean, they're that's the other thing is I've done. There's Kemper tools are great, and we use those a lot. I mean, most of the time because they're heavy duty, and when you're using them against the thickness of a squash, they tend to be really durable. Exactly. And then I was a little worried looking at these, but the first time I used them, but man, they're just strong. And anyway, they work really well.
They're the best. Yeah, I buy like 3 packs at a time just so because I mean sometimes I get a little like rough, so broken maybe once or twice, but that's completely on me. But I just have them all over just so I never, in case he decides to not make them anymore.
Oh, good idea.
I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carla is jumping in. Hello, Carla. Carla's yeah, she's done some of the shows with you. I saw.
Yeah,
some pieces
she
in
was there at the Hive, and then I was there at her Monsterpalooza show.
There you go.
We love Carla.
You guys, Carla's
She
the best.
is phenomenal.
The best.
Yes. There's a question if you stream or if you have any plans to.
Oh, yeah. I have thought about that. And then I don't know if you noticed, but my social media is pretty lacking in personal details.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it. And then I also have this poor camera setup. I definitely would. I'm not sure. Like, I didn't think people would be interested in so long, like just sitting here taking forever to sculpt a really random, like, you know, guy. But I would if they wanted to see that. I mean, I'll give it a shot. It's like, it does take a long time. So I feel like I could be there for 2 hours and then, you know, the progress maybe is not super stimulating. But I mean, sometimes
it is though.
I mean, if people want, exactly, sometimes people want to see stuff and I'm just like a harsher critic on myself, I guess.
We thought the same thing about 100 shows ago.
Good point.
Have you had 100?
Where are we? We're close to 100, aren't we?
This is 97, I believe.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
You got a body of work. You know, it's crazy. We when we interviewed Chris Not Bush, and I think we talked about him for a second, but he does that Twitch thing, but he gets on in the morning at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and he's gone till 5 every day of the week. And he's got a massive following, and he'll do the same thing. He'll like every now and then look over, oh, okay, a question, blah, 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 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or people will passively watch it, like they kind of watch our show a little bit passively. They're like kind of doing something fun, and they look over, oh, what was that? Let me see that. You know, and so you know, I think there's definitely there's a big market for it. And then you're so personable, you'd be able to just kind of like talk. That's the other thing, is you have to be able to talk through what you're doing. Yeah. And Paul and I being on TV and stuff like that, that was a tough putt because we had to be like, oh, what do you do? And they off camera, they're like, Matt, what are you doing right now? Oh, yeah, I'm not sitting with headphones and a beer. I guess I have to talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I always wonder about that. You know, my brother and I watched like Halloween Wars and all that carving, like like clockwork. It was like the best, the best show of the year. Like, it's gonna premiere next week. So I always wonder about that. Like, I don't know. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Paul can chime in because I know he knows this well. But when it comes to like the off-camera producers, they want like, you know, some verbal back and forth, because if you're just sitting there sculpting away, there's not really anyone really describing what you're doing or your next steps. The tougher part for me was when they were asking, hey Matt, what is your cake person making because it's a team on the show I was on, so I can describe what I'm doing, but then they're saying, will they finish in time? And I'll be like, I'm in awe of what they do. I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, so cool. Exactly. I know. That's what I always think when I watch those shows. I think the time limit thing is like, I don't know. I would like, what do you have? Like, I have the start of a armature and it's going to be great. I just need like another week and you're going to love it. They're like, thank you so much for coming. Goodbye. New teammate.
Yeah. Steve has a question. What has been your most challenging piece so far?
Ooh, good question.
That is a good question. They're all kind of challenging in different ways.
What's the one you threw out the most? I mean, what's the one that has the most duplications in your graveyard?
God, so many. I don't even want to think about them. There have been some recent commissions that I actually didn't post even yet. There's a recent one that has about 4 in the graveyard. Ooh, wow. I'm talking fully sculpted, fully baked, half painted, like done. And then for actually the Gallery 88 show this past year, the graveyard was overflowing. I'm sure looking back they probably would have been fine, but I was like, done, 80 hours, looked at it, ready to go. No, I'm not going to throw it away, start over. So, it is what it is,
That is so great. Well, Paul and I, when we huck a pumpkin out in the desert, in my case, or out in the forest in his, because or we can do this, we can just turn it around, start on that side, make a new one. But I mean, whenever we do that, we're 3 hours in maybe, but to be 80 hours in, I'd be really devastated.
Yeah. Oh, I've 100% been 70, 80 hours in. Only once or twice. Most of the time I'm like 20 to 30, but there's some other pieces like there was a ruby rod piece that I did for 88 a while back, and I just the last minute decided to chop the head off like with a razor blade, and just resculpted the head. And because the body I was happy with that, but there was just something off of the face. I resculpted it and then I just married it in and married the armature in, glue, epoxy, everything, and just I was so happy I did that. You got to do it. You just know sometimes, and you just like it's off.
Yeah.
Your own internal standards of craziness.
And they keep going up because the last one you made, you have to make the next one better, and the next one's got to be better. And I get it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if I'm making a piece, even if I'm happy with it, I will look back and I think, well, that piece is better, and it was 6 months ago. Then I'm like in a mental spiral for sure. So yeah. But
I'm thinking you should make a whole John Candy line.
Candy line, yeah. I was thinking that.
I'm thinking there is a whole John Candy line. Yeah, I have a piece for November coming up. He's the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just is the best. I got a planes, trains, automobiles piece that's going to be for November for Thanksgiving.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Those aren't pillows.
I was gonna say, is he holding some shower curtains, or is he on the plane with the socks? There's so many great scenes.
Yes.
So many. Going a classic route, like with the jackets and the snow and everything. Be surprised, but
we'll be watching.
Totally. I'm so excited about it. He and Steve Martin have the best faces. Again, sometimes you look at characters and they just lend themselves to kind of a stylized caricature form, and sometimes they don't, and that there's not really a rhyme or reason. Sometimes faces just I can't visualize it in my head, and I don't know why.
And as a TV nerd, if you do his John Candy's SCTV characters, I will lose my mind.
Okay, on the list.
Oh my God, Johnny LaRue, Harry, the guy with a snake on his face.
Man.
He does Divine. I mean, like it's.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're reaching way back in the archives.
Yeah, trust me, I'm super big SCTV nerd. I love
stuff. It's just all the obscure stuff is the best.
Yeah.
Again, it's for the people who know. If you know, you know.
Yes.
And you'll get it. Okay, it's on the list. I wrote it down.
Oh yes. See, that's how influential I am.
That's the power you have.
I'm in. Thank you. It's awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, this is. Like I said,
it's so Disney to me. That just says that's just like the clean, flowing Disney. Like he's anyway. There's so many great little lines on him that just speak. It's not an evil wizard,
A lot of movement,
but he'll kick your ass.
Exactly. Yeah, this is for Aaron. He's I've never seen the original Hobbit before. So now I have him a lot, and it's awesome. But there's that Disney influence that is this like if this character were like in an animated film, what would he look like? And that's probably the mix of aesthetic. But this was obviously an anime character. But I was going for the movement. That's something I'm always trying to get better at, is like dynamism and movement. And sometimes I think like taking like a gesture drawing class or that would have really helped. And you look back and you're like, oh, I see, like I'm proud of this piece, but it's very stiff. And now that I know, the S curves of the back better, and just a twist of the neck can help, and things like that you just have to learn by doing each piece and wondering, like, why is this not as captivating as something that I am inspired by, and like what's the differential there, and what do I have to work on, and just not being, having like no ego about it whatsoever. Just like, yeah, I tried. That was the best I could do at that time, and now we're like moving on.
Wow.
We
we got three Twitch followers just said they'd watch you. So you already.
Yeah.
Let's just pick up the phone and call Twitch and have you
go. Let's go. I would try. I'm gonna have to have someone do my camera setup for me because I'm, again, allergic to technology, but I'll try.
I don't know. You may build something that you may build the monster, How about feeding the monster? Like,
that would be amazing.
Remember us on the way up. Just remember us on the way up.
Exactly.
Please, aren't you gonna be there? Yeah.
That's right.
Never blame us on the way down. That's
the key. That's the key. Actually, it is kind of nice chatting because you are, it's a very solitary activity. Or, it is. Yeah. I don't work. You by yourself. I'm by myself in a room. Maybe the occasional cat may come in, but that's about it. So it's nice having people just chatting about stuff. So yeah.
Do you spend time doing either like drawings of it, or do you kind of sketch out everything you're going to do from 3 dimensions, like you can see it from the top and the sides and the back and everything like that? Or do you? Okay. Yeah,
3D art is not. Yeah, it's not my strong suit. I do really crude, like artistically offensive, probably. Just like stick figure type. I just like to get the line of action, to use an art term. A gesture, just to get like what's the pose, and I know in my head what the face looks like, so I don't worry about that. But it's really all about like the scale, the proportions, and the gesture, just to have that kind of there. Because you work so up close, and sometimes you can get a little myopic, and you step back and you go, oh, like the proportions are a little off. So that helps me as like a little guide. But they're very rough, very rough. I have it all in my head or in written form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're writing, like you mentioned the notes. So you'll write it down, and then how often do you while you're making it, do you kind of revisit the notes? You just kind of always looking at them?
Yeah. Well, again, like very ordered, right? So there's like I always have like a little thing at the top that's like remember whatever it is for that piece, like joy or loose or like bold, whatever it is, just to keep like the thesis statement intact. And then I'll just have little notes like contrast, movement, just. Again, because you can be looking at something up close for like 4 hours and it gets tight, it gets a little stiff. So you got to back up and it helps. Yeah.
That's great.
Definitely helps.
I don't think we've ever talked to somebody that has handwritten notes. I think that.
Yes.
I mean, it just, again, don't let technology. It's just right there on a piece of paper. Like nothing wrong with it. It works.
Right.
That works.
It works.
Yeah, these.
I love this.
The level of detail are so amazing.
Well, Mickey, can you zoom? Can you make that whole thing giant? I just love the face. I mean, it's just so, or maybe the whole screen. I don't know. There we go. Yeah. Wow.
Oh man.
Look at that. I mean, am I looking at a picture? I mean, I swear to God. I I am, but it's crazy.
And again, the black and white work with the paint.
Right.
Yeah,
I just think it's so much more authentic.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's black and whites. It's really interesting, like watching old movies or old footage or like a Twilight Zone or new black and white. Like they were a lot warmer. They've got like those little sepia tones in there. Yeah. So it's fun. Like or like something like a ghost in black and white be like a lot colder, blue undertones, and mix those in there. But that's really, really good practice. This was one, for example, where I had like a drawing that was stick figure, but I really wanted to make sure like it was. If it turned to the side, it's got a good curve. And I didn't want anything to be like straight up and down, like a stick figure,
Right.
It's like I try and look at each thing and I'm like, how can you make it more interesting? Like, can you make better contrast there, negative space there? So it's just, I'm sure in 6 months, like everything I make now will look again like trash. to me. But that's a good thing for me. I totally accept that.
You're hard on yourself like we are. I think. I mean,
I'm just going to say the same thing.
You have to be.
I hear this every week.
Yeah.
We hate everything we make.
Hate. I'm always like, should I delete that from the Instagram? I mean, I don't want anybody to see that. Or
I've done that. Like, taking it right, put it up and then taking it down, and then like, what was I thinking?
Exactly. Who am I? I'll never touch clay again. Who do I think I am? Exactly.
So good. And also, this is also, I mean, the film that they shot it on, you know, the way that it was, you know, digitally represented as well. I mean, that changed the color. I mean, there's a lot of things, you know, it wasn't obviously, you know, these were all color, but then they went to black and white, but it's all how we see them and remember them as well.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
it's
so good.
it's a challenge.
Yep. But then, you know, go to the contrast of that. I mean, there's nothing more 90s than this.
Totally. Yeah. Is there a theme in what I was brought up on?
There you go.
The 90s all the way.
Yes.
I love it.
So I just posted a little work in progress of that yesterday.
Oh, it's so good.
Good old Urkel.
Good old Urkel.
From a scale, that's the same as your other ones, like kind of roughly 8-9 inches, or.
Yep, I think it's 8 inches. Yeah, little guy. He was really fun. That's a piece where I think like if I smile when I look at it and I feel happy and it like a little twinkle and then I'm good. That's all I need. So.
Yeah, every bit of it.
God, I miss
the glasses are wire, I'm assuming too.
Yep. Oh God. Okay. I love like it's so fun when they're done and it's such a fun. But oh my God, they're so small. They're so hard to do for me to do.
I know. That's what I'm imagining. It's like how to get the glasses perfect and not be just a bunch of bent wires has got to be a nightmare.
Oh man, it was a lot of wire in the trash. But yeah, it's like I'll do like an outline on paper and just kind of bend the wire around and very carefully choose where the glue points are and just like dab epoxy and paint. It's just so finicky, but it's fun. It's worth it.
Is there any thought of doing Stefan Urkel, which was Urkel's cool character?
Cool alter ego. If I had the time, he would have been there too. Yeah, he's got to come.
I can just be your idea guy, just like throwing you all these crazy
the
little
list is 4 pieces long already. Let's go. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Just need the time now. That's all. You know.
Yes, exactly. That's what I say all the time.
Exactly. Yeah,
I don't
for
have
sure.
enough lifetime to do everything I want to do.
I know. Well, that's the thing too, is like I'll have like 15 ideas in my head, but then you remember that each one takes like, 50, 60, 70 hours. And you're like,
oh yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I used to have a goal of like getting faster, if I can get like one a week and then I can, maybe I can pay my bills, but it's just not how like my art works. Like I just needs to take the time it takes. And, I could just like conveyor belt pieces out, but then I'm not growing and, I'm just.
And you're probably not as happy, because you're.
You can tell. You absolutely have to tell. Yeah, that's why I think it's like the graveyard is, Philip, is I can see like, I was tired or I was rushing that or just couldn't figure it out. And you gotta step away, come back into it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing Paul and I have discovered is just leaving and coming back to any piece is great. And, we're up against the clock when you're carving a squash. So you gotta, you can't leave, come back in a week and expect the same thing. So you have to refrigerate like a piece of produce or whatever, but give yourself a little bit more time. But your clock's always ticking.
Yeah, these are not challenges I never have to think about, but yeah, that's true.
But a second set of eyes on something, it always like exposes instantly. Oh, that was what I was going. Exactly. Damn, that whole thing has to go now. Whatever it's
everything. Yep. Yeah, it's a good feeling and a bad feeling, but it'll like come to me like that. That's it. That's what I was missing, and then that's not that. So it's gotta go, but it's okay. I'd prefer to just have the graveyard and like remake things a million times and have it take forever and get it the way I want it, and grow than just giving up being like it's good enough. Like I'll just send it out. Can't do it.
I see a artist children's book. It's called The Graveyard. It's all about the Island of Misfit toys that you made.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. That would be. I mean, mine might be a little creepy. A lot of very similar looking, rejects.
Yeah, a bunch of heads and hands and broken legs and stuff. But,
Exactly. There's a moral in there somewhere.
Sure.
About keep trying.
Keep trying. Don't give up. Get it
Don't
right.
give up. Get it right. And yes, you're still rejects.
I think every artist has kind of taken on the Krampus, but everybody
That's a good one. It's a
is
classic
so good with it. I mean, this one
That's
is
like
like
right out of the postcard from like the 20s or whatever the hell that came out. That's so good.
Oh,
so
that's funny,
incredible.
because I tend to look at a lot of older stuff when I was kind of figuring out how to design. So that's a good example of what like you can make it look however you want as long as it's within parameters.
Sure.
Like whatever I was feeling at the time. But that was really fun and really interesting challenge because of all the fur and like really cool job.
Yeah.
So that one was that a commission or was that just an idea and you just had to do it?
Just had to do it.
Oh, I love it. Okay. I think if you're a Halloween and Christmas fan, like most of us are in one way or the other, he's like the perfect blend, you know?
It's a perfect blend. And that's my my split mind. I'm just like Disney and joy and Christmas and super, super dark and just I need both halves.
Yeah.
Need them.
Another one of my favorite movies of all time.
The best movie.
Goes to 11.
Yeah,
there's Stonehenge.
The mini. No, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. One of the greatest gags of all time.
Yeah,
I mean, the best. I mean, just you can't go wrong with the Spinal Tap.
That's Nigel, right? Wait, there's David
No,
St.
you
Hubbard.
got it. You got it.
Nigel, and then Derek Smalls is the other guy.
Derek Smalls and Michael St. Hubbins.
David
St. Hubbins. There you go.
Yeah.
And
the patron saint of quality footwear. I think that's what it is.
There was actually, I mean, the mini Stonehenge is amazing, but I don't think a lot of people know this one. There was actually a second Spinal Tap album, I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a movie.
Yeah, Break Like the Wind. I remember it.
Yes, yeah, and there was an amazing promotional thing that went with it because I worked at a record store. I found out about this, but you had to be in the music industry to even know about this. The biggest thing was it was like they said, oh, there's going to be a Spinal Tap calendar, and so everybody was like, oh wow, that's cool, a Spinal Tap calendar. I would love to have one of those. And then when we got it, it was a colander. Are you aware of what a colander is? For those who don't know out there, but it was a Spinal Tap colander.
You got it wrong.
That is so Spinal Tap.
I have to look for that on eBay, but it's like there was a Spinal Tap colander, not a calendar.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Man,
only they could do that, right?
Only you had it right behind you. That'd be a good one. Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't look on eBay for that, everybody. I'm gonna look for that.
I don't know. I'm adding it to my notes.
And now we're all gonna get one.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, except for.
So I wanted to go and I wanted to see what Matt and Paul are doing. So we always like to do the progress of it. So Paul, let me see what you got. He lost a lot of daylight there pretty quickly. Oh, there's Matt.
I guess we can start with me. Oh, there's Paul. Okay, there you go. Paul, can you hear us? Paul, Earth to Paul.
Can you hear us?
I'm going down the path of more of a yes, I'm here.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We just have a long lag, I think.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yes.
Ah, sorry. Go to Matt. All
right.
It's
all good.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah. I think there's just a long lag.
Oh,
phooey. And now Matt's. Hey, hi, Matt.
Oh, hi. Okay, so I'll start kind of giving you guys an idea. So I'm starting with like he's nervous, so he's got like the little kind of puzzled lip. But I'm trying to right now. I'm just working on a face, and then I'll eventually make him into a ghost. But right now he's just kind of getting the chubby face blocked in. And I don't know what his eyes are going to be like, but right now I'm just getting that nervous eyebrow and So we'll see. It's got a long way to go.
There you go.
Oh yeah. It's awesome.
Let's Paul's doing good.
Try
I
again.
like it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Let's do it again.
Take two.
You can't hear me? Okay. Okay. So I'm going for more of like a slimery Ghostbuster thing, right?
Oh.
How do you do a ghost? So
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You not
Okay.
hear me?
I love it. I
Love
love it.
it.
Very cartoony. I love it.
Yeah, super cool.
Love.
Yay. Nicole, did you have anything?
Yay, my lag.
Yeah, I haven't done anything. If my mouth was moving, I was not doing anything. But this is easy. Look, he's starting
Lift
to
it a
look,
little bit. Up, lift it a little bit. There you go.
Oh, cool.
And
starting to look worried. Yeah, he'll be joining the graveyard later. But
Oh, that's not bad.
Stop it.
no, he's a special guy. He'll get finished.
all dressed up with nowhere to go.
Nowhere.
Exactly. Over my shoulder. I remember that
There you
song.
go.
Little oingo boingo.
There you go.
Oh man, throwback.
Yeah, so I guess ghosts have noses and stuff like that, right? I guess it could, or maybe it could be more like Casper without a nose. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Ghosts,
now,
I mean,
yeah,
they
that's
were
interesting.
people at one point.
That's right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well,
Your
not if they were a
own-
cat.
I think, yeah. You know what? Make your own world. Do whatever.
Very
you want.
open to interpretation. I like that. Okay.
Streamline.
The door is ajar, as we say.
Yes.
Ja.
Casper the friendly ghost. Does that imply that all like ghosts are evil
Evil.
or
Yeah.
evil
No, but his
spirits?
brothers were complete
So,
tools.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
is that it?
Yeah,
Ah.
they were complete jerks.
Bastards.
This is bad.
So do you do any other like British things? Obviously, this is a very a very important British comedy. Blackadder, correct?
Blackadder, yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but I'm a huge British comedy fan. So again, I'm gonna throw out a whole bunch of British comedy.
Throw
that
it out.
we'll
Throw it
never see.
out.
Benny Hill.
Benny
Nice.
Hill.
Benny Hill has got a great face.
Ooh,
Yeah, he's got a rubber face. Yeah, he'd be great.
That's the jam. Yep, those rubber face guys.
Yeah,
I have
I'm a big
so many.
Steve Coogan fan.
Again, the great face.
he's an
Totally.
amazing fan. Yeah, the
Or
Little
Burton.
Britain characters
Know
are
that
somewhat.
one?
Oh
I
no,
don't know.
yeah, it's probably from like
What's
about
this?
10, Little
What show
Britain.
is this?
Yeah, it was on HBO for a while, but it was definitely a very popular British comedy. It's more like sketch comedy and stuff like that.
What about Absolutely Fabulous?
There you go. That would be
Ooh.
Tremendous.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the list is growing.
Yeah, the young ones.
Oh, young ones. You could do Neil and Vivian and the whole gang.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
boy, that would be fun.
Oh man,
Yeah.
my year is just filling up quick.
Yeah, you're pretty much booked. You're booked
Okay.
for-
I
work for you.
love it. I absolutely love it.
Not the guy that chimed in earlier about if you were working on his commission. He's not happy about hearing all your new ideas.
This will be done, I promise. Like
He's having a
this
panic
weekend.
attack right now.
Oh yeah, in progress. No. Oh, I have some. Yeah, or IT Crowd and Garth Marenghi are been on
Oh
my list
yes,
for so long.
yes.
Like just the whole cast, all four. I mean, yeah, they've been on my list for so long. I'm gonna try and get them done this year or this spring.
You
Are
could
you
do that.
familiar
You know who I think he would be a wonderful because of your style is John Cleese doing like the silly walk or something like that.
John
Would be
Cleese is on my
so-
list.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Like you
all
could
of
do
them.
so many amazing things for Monty Python. Like even you could even do a really great Mr. Creosote, from The Meaning of Life, the giant guy who
Yeah.
explodes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my God, that chin. Yeah, he's
yeah,
been
yeah.
on. He's been on
Give me
my
a
list.
pocket. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he almost made it to the 88 show last year. Just ran out of time, but
Oh.
he'll come around. Yeah.
Okay.
That chin cannot go unsculpted another year. We gotta do it.
That's so great.
This might be a reach. Are you aware of the Toast of London?
Yeah, Matt Berry, 100%.
Yes.
I got to do every version of Matt Berry, including Toast of London,
Yes.
on the list.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't know when I'm going to get them done, but 100% the best.
Yes. And please, Clem Fandango.
And Fandango,
Please.
of course.
Please.
Of course. I would never leave him out. Never.
You might have to do him first.
And then the Can You Hear Me? And then we'll have the whole lineup.
So
Oh
good.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
good.
I'm gonna have to like move to the UK because all my stuff next year is just gonna be
Yes.
here. Like, looks cool. I don't really know what you're doing, but
Hey, you guys would dig Toast of London. They actually did a Toast of Los Angeles.
yeah.
so
That's the newest one.
Yes. Yeah.
It's hard to find some of those, because of streaming and stuff.
That's true. That's true.
I get those VPNs.
Yeah. I again, with so many here. Tell me more about this one. I'm not as familiar with.
This is
as I should be.
Multipass.
That's
Multipass.
he was from Fifth Dimension, right? Or
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element. I mean, that's what I meant. Yeah,
Element,
Fifth Element.
that's right.
Yep,
Bruce Willis and he's
That's Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, yeah.
Yeah, Ruby Rod is his name.
That's
Ruby Rod, that's right.
Ruby Rod, a very polarizing character. I happen to love him, but
Damn.
it's, I mean, I can't go wrong, really.
Oh,
Those, I have had nightmares about those little cheetah spots.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
No, they were actually very, very fun. I like that kind of like zen out for 3 hours and just do spots work. It's just kind of nice to have a balance of like sculpting and then just like zone out. But yeah, all that hand painting is a little much. But that's the one that I was telling you. I cut the head off and just redid it.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
And I just cut it right off with an X-Acto and remade it. And yeah, the difference is crazy. I wish I had. He's in the graveyard, but if I had him, I would show you the past. And you can always tell I was tired and I was on my last leg, and then I got like refreshed, and I was like, we're gonna retackle this one before we send it in.
Oh, it's so good.
And
But the eyes,
like
eyes totally sell it as Chris Tucker. Like to me,
Yes.
it's like that mouth and the eyes is like, and he was so insanely flamboyant and out there and nuts in that movie. So great.
The best. Yeah, that's
There's
like one of those things where you stare at his face and you're like, okay, he's got an interesting shape of his mouth, his top lip, and his eyes and his eyebrows. And then, some other things are just those are what you focus on.
Yeah.
You should make one monster out of all of the heads that you've cut off.
Oh,
I gotta do something with them. I mean, right now they're just
That would
serving
be
as like a
fantastic.
shame pile. So I gotta think of
Like
something.
a 3-headed Chris Tucker would be fantastic.
There are. I mean, yeah, there's 2, so at the very least.
Chris Tucker, as you've never seen him before.
This
You know what he'd end
immediate-
up looking like because of the hairdo? Is remember the monsters from Sesame Street? They're like,
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. Telephone. Yep.
extremely creepy Muppet. Yes. Just a mediocre art monster.
oh, stop it.
We'll call it like the stages of him, something like
There you go. We'll call it,
that. The
progressive.
stages of Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Wendy.
Yes.
Wendy.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the bass,
yeah.
of course, so good.
This might be one of my favorites.
She
So
was
good.
so fun. I remember
Ridiculous.
sculpting her and watching The Shining a million times while I was,
Yeah, and holding the back close to her chest
Nailed
like
the
that
eyes.
is like,
Nailed it.
yeah, and you nailed it exactly. It's just like that's her. It's so good.
Thank you. That was on the more whimsical end. For
I start
sure.
singing like when she was in Popeye. I immediately start singing.
Oh my
It's
God,
like,
yeah. I mean, Olive Oil deserves
Yeah.
her own piece too.
perfect.
Yes.
I mean, look at her face. How could you not sculpt that face? She's amazing.
Is it more difficult because it has to be so thin? Does that make it harder to make and actually be really stable?
I mean, the only time that thinness becomes a problem is with like limbs, like a hand that's out here like that, like thinking about this hitting something and breaking at the wrist. I mean, I always have like a wire with epoxy over it going through everything. So even if a finger were to break, like it's not going to break off, right? It's in there. But I mean, like I said, I put a lot of epoxy in there, and like I try to build it up as much as possible with like super stable stuff before I do the finishing clay layer. But you know, they're still, that's the thing, right? They're not cast resin. They're still just like clay, like they're breakable. They are kind of essentially a fragile item. So, you know, it's a downside for sure of doing the one-offs.
Yeah.
Have you had them from a shipping perspective? Have you had it like go to a gallery and arrive in pieces and you had to repair it? Or
luckily not a gallery. I've had a piece shipped from a gallery, break, but that, and a couple pieces here and there. But usually it's international. You know, that's a lot of like
a lot of
truck,
handling.
and then exactly, and then a truck and a conveyor belt and a plane and a truck. So you know, but yeah, shipping is like my least favorite part of, you know, basically my life at this point. It's just. I hate it, but I'm doing like custom boxing now, like very custom, like shipping and stabilizing within a box, double box, triple box. So
we'll
see. Yeah.
I love that one.
Right. Yeah. You're killing me, Smalls.
More 90s.
And then even the baseball has the Babe Ruth signature
Baby
on it.
Ruthy, of course.
That's it.
So
Yeah. One of the best movies ever. Ever. Definitely one of the best sports films. Full stop.
Yeah, they get the whole group back. I think it was like a year or two ago, and I don't know if you guys saw, like, you know, they had the whole grown-up group back, and it was kind of fun to watch them like actually as grown-ups. They're quite different.
Very. Yeah. You can still see it in them now.
Yeah, especially this guy.
Yeah, totally. It's kind of sad. It's like 20, 25 years, 30 years. I'm like, yikes.
Yeah.
Time is passing. That.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
Oh, it makes me bleed.
Sorry.
You did work at a record store.
All right, you're allowed.
I mean, these are so
Put your
good.
hands on your hips. Yeah.
Speaking
he
of
was at Monster Palooza.
Oh God, I know I was there. I didn't get in line. I'm not like good at meeting people, but I mean, he's the best.
Oh yeah, he's not himself. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
Poor guy. Damn it.
I know. Tim, man.
So good.
He's the best. Yeah, this movie is just, again, put it on a zillion times and then.
I mean, when I grew up, that was like the thing that people would go to on, I don't know, what is it, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and they do the entire thing where they have the newspaper. They're doing every scene and they're singing along and they're saying every word.
Yes.
Which is like wild, you know?
Right.
Full audience participation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went on Halloween once and it was really wild. It was really fun though.
Yeah, these are great. And then tell me more about this one. I'm not familiar with this character either.
Yeah. Oh, that one is also from the
Original Hobbit.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
original,
70s
okay.
one. Yeah, the 70s one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 70s cartoon Hobbit. I don't remember. I mean, I remember seeing it in the back of my head, but when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, that's from there. Yeah, I love that character, and I've never seen it in 3D. That's so cool.
I was trying to find one, and I couldn't, because I always try and find, like, is there a 3D reference already existing? You don't want to, like, you know, overlap and stuff, and I couldn't really find anything, so that was fun. Definitely fun.
So good.
Yeah. And then I'm assuming this one is a similar one, right?
Yeah, they went to the same collector.
Oh, so cool.
They're pretty fun.
And then how tall are these? These are the same.
That little guy is like 6 inches, and I think the King Goblin was like 10 inches.
Wow. Okay.
So. Yeah.
Wow.
But like dense, like a really, there's a lot of,
Yeah. And then you're doing all the painting too, and it's like the colors are so accurate as well. It's like just kind of washed out like look to it, and it's got that great look to it.
But I was trying. I usually like take down the brightness a little bit, wash it out with a little bit of gray, tone it down. Yeah, that part's fun.
And it's so much like the actual 70s cartoon too. I mean, those colors are right on target with, you know, the.
Yep.
They love their pea soup and brown and yellow.
Yeah. Dull and like that.
Yes.
So 70s.
So 70s.
So do you have like I know you're sculpting tons of stuff and doing commissions and gallery work. Do you have like a goal for like I mean, would you just want to do that the rest of your life and just be a sculptor and just keep getting commissions, or do you have like a bigger aspiration to go somewhere and, I don't know, throwing it out there because you have so much talent and like variations, and you could do a Disney thing is my thought,
Let's do that, because maybe we can get some regular income. I that's something I turn over in my head like all the time of like what exactly is the goal here, because I didn't like, it's somewhat recent and I didn't know if it would even go anywhere, and I just kind of put it out there. And so it's really only been this past year with like the shows and stuff that I thought maybe it's like an actual career path. I don't know. So it's just, I'm still at the stage where I'm like, who wants to see my stuff? Like, I'm just like a person in a room making really weird stuff, and I'm not the best networker. So as long as I'm making stuff, maybe not commissions, because like I was saying before, like it's a little bit more, it's challenging in that way. I'd love to like just explore like a whole list of characters that Michael gave us. So once those are done, I can continue with my the rest of the goals.
Yeah.
Your life. You had 3 more years to your her list.
No problem. I have a ton of characters behind that too, so don't even worry about it. You got the rest of your life scheduled.
We're gonna get that done. 2025, we'll pick this up and see where we go.
Yes.
I kind of like seeing like what opportunities come up and stuff. I mean, it's just, again, like this is not something I did growing up. Didn't go to school for it. Never thought of it as like a possibility of something you could ever do for real. So everything is like, that's really cool. Like, absolutely. And surprised that the people are even interested. So so we shall see.
Now, people want to be around talented people and buy stuff from talent. And I think the one thing you do really well too is the series. And like, because there's collector will like glom onto one thing and then they'll say, but if I can have all 3 of those characters, or if I can have, the set, that's going to be a big thing. So when you get commissions, do people ask for multiples typically?
Yeah, like, like the goblins and stuff that's from that one movie. It's hard because I'm a little like, I have this log to get through, and then you go back and add one to the last. But I have those sets like the IT Crowd set, the Garth Marenghi set, there's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia set that I've been meaning to do for like 4 years, and there's like 4, 5, 6 characters each. And
Nice.
I want to do them full like Nightman cometh, full set of everything. But I have to like nobody asked for that. So that's just like, do you have the time to do that? Hopefully somebody will want it when I'm done. I'll keep them if nobody wants them.
But I think this work will find those. I mean, those people will find you somehow if you put it out there. It's just like, that's the one thing that I think that's the great thing about putting art on the internet now is people find you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mentioned that I'm not a huge fan of social media for like personal stuff, but thank God that it is there, because I never would have been somebody who would have brought in stuff to like a gallery or a portfolio or asked people to look at my work. It just was there. So I am grateful for that. For all the introverts, I'm so glad that social media is there to take care of all the networking skills that we do not have.
Right.
Yes.
Put it out there in the world.
Yeah. If you stay specific and not try to please everybody, like the specific people there's other people that like the same specific weird shit that you do. There always is.
Oh, that's cool. Well, Nicole, we told you before, this is the fastest 90 minutes on the internet.
Nikki.
Thank you.
We're actually at time, but
crazy.
So I wanted to show this real quick. You have your upcoming shows at the Hive and also Gallery 1988. And then, so one more time, just tell us when those are.
Yeah. So, I mean, 88 has shows like every month that are themed. Crazy for Cults coming up. There's one. There's going to be a larger show in March to look forward to. So you'll see like pieces coming up for almost each month over the next 2 months. And then the Hive's annual sculpture show is in November, and it's called Master Blasters of Sculpture. So it's just all sculpture artists, and like the whole thing is filled. It's so cool. Yeah.
Awesome. And then this is your Instagram. Is there anywhere else we should, or is this where we can see all your work?
Everything worth seeing, not with the not
Everything
including
outside the graveyard is on
in the
there.
graveyard. We're gonna, maybe a few heads. Yes, is on Instagram. And then like when I do make stuff that I just want to make that people might want to buy, I put it in the big cartel. But haven't done that in a while because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, big
Instagram.
cartel.
Yeah. Which is in the Instagram bio. So.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is where you can find us. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So yes, follow, like, subscribe, tell a friend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been a
and
blast.
one more thing, Mick, too. I think one of the things I don't think we saw it tonight, but one of your favorites, and I would say if you haven't started following her yet, and what is your Instagram handle, just so we're sure?
It is Nixon Studio, NICSON.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, Mick. So if you just one more reminder for folks who are watching the end of the show, go to it now. And then one of my favorites you did is this Great British Bake Off Soylent Green grandmother baker. I don't know what it is, but that face, I just absolutely love it. So
that is so accurate. That's a great description.
I absolutely love it. So just go check it out. You have to scroll down a little bit, but you'll find it. And it's one of my favorites.
Oh my God. Original. You're the best.
Awesome.
Nice one.
Paul,
Oh.
are you good? Can you hear me? 3,
Lag.
2.
Got it.
My connection
There
off.
it is.
We're gonna call that. We're gonna give it to him as being out in the woods in the middle
Yeah.
of New Hampshire. We're
Yes.
not gonna have to. We'll hear from
Right.
him next week about all the things he
Thank
missed.
you, Nicole.
There we
Thank
go.
you guys so much. I am so honored that you wanted to talk to me. This was such a blast. I can't thank you enough. I so appreciate it. This is so
It went by
fun.
too fast. Damn it.
It did.
Yeah,
It
went too fast.
did.
We
didn't even
definitely would love to
finish
have you back. We have more to show you. Like, I mean, just going through your Instagram, I'm like, this was just the stuff that we could do in an hour and a half. So we could do
we got to come back
3,
with
4
this
hours.
litany of British shit that you gave me to make.
Awesome.
for the next
Awesome.
year.
Yeah, we can talk about that all night.
One by one.
Awesome.
Toasted
Well,
London
we will
guys.
see you next Thursday with another Carvers and Creators. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week. Good night.